Exactly. Things look good for them on that side, but they need Bottas to deliver. And so let's speak about Valtteri Bottas, right? There have been some really eye-opening stats from the entire rest of the pack, apart from Hamilton and Verstappen as well. This one right now, I think the focus just has to be on Valtteri Bottas. And how outstanding is it, Sundaram, that Bottas has a top drive, but unfortunately for the poor man, he just cannot convert it into a big result this year.
No, like you mentioned, it's a top drive. That's a seat where the rest of the grid would die to be sitting in and driving that car around, because that is a championship winning car for the last 7 years.
George certainly would.
So
George Russell has been dying for it for years now.
definitely. And it seems like he's probably going to be the next person who's going to be sitting in that car next year. But Bottas has been having a torrid season this year. He's had 3 DNFs, like you mentioned. He's had 3 DNFs, and that's the most he's ever had in one Formula One season, and the most a Mercedes driver has had since 2014. So it goes to show that they usually don't suffer a lot of reliability issues or crashes and all of that. But this year it's happening to Bottas, and with these results, his 2022 seat definitely is in danger.
And it's a bit crazy, isn't it? I think it was the Sky commentary team that pulled out the stat while the race was going on that in Hungary, it was the first ever career first lap retirement for Valtteri Bottas that he had in that race. It's just stunning. It's no sabotage. It's nothing like that. It just is a coincidence. But Kunal, coming back to the stats on Bottas as well, I know we're stressing a bit on him, but it's a bit remarkable that from the last year, Bottas has 53 less points from this very stage of the season last year. I don't even know what to say. It's just not been his year. And Mercedes would certainly be wondering, well, for now, it's not a problem because we lead in the Constructors' Championship. But that's down to a lot of bad luck for Red Bull. Had both their drivers been on the perfect luck, I don't think Mercedes would be where they are.
Absolutely. I like how both of you have nicely slotted Bottas in this whole rest of the pack discussion. Because technically speaking, after Verstappen and Hamilton, literally everyone is rest of the pack, and that's because of how Perez and Bottas have been performing in 2021, and because of the fact that Lando Norris has taken himself into the P3 battle as well. But yes, Bottas needs to perform, and it's a high stakes battle. It's also about who loses more points with, who loses more money with all the crashes that have been happening, courtesy of the Mercedes drivers as well. And my best of the rest, or the rest of pack stat that really stands out, again from the Hungarian Grand Prix, that Williams has scored more points in the Hungarian Grand Prix alone than they did in their last 70 races. And that exactly is mind-boggling, literally in every way. Of course, there is now this whole talk of, hey, Williams has of course jumped up the rankings. Suddenly they're saying we don't need paid drivers, we've got funding. They're going to get more money from Formula One as well. And then Nico Hülkenberg, who's on one of those drivers on the long list of Williams's prospects, he's gone and shared this picture of him driving, I think it was a Williams car, back in time, and suddenly that spiced up the whole driver silly season discussion as well. And mind you guys, Nico actually did that last year when the whole Red Bull talk was happening. He was seen using a Honda lawn mower, I think.
He was.
So, right.
Not sure if him sharing a picture of Williams is a good omen or a good hint in any way, but yes, Williams scoring more points in Hungary than they did in their last 70 races is my mind-boggling stat for the rest of the pack.
How do you do this, Sundaram? How do you pull out data like that? It's a question we end up asking quite often in the team WhatsApp group whenever Sundaram posts his work right there. You know what to do, guys. You know what to do. Check out the link in the description to see where you can follow Sundaram and keep up with his stats as they come on in. But here's another one. Here's another one of the stats that you pulled out, Sundaram, that I have to bring out right here. Points gainers. We mentioned that Bottas was 53 points down compared to last year. This time out, it's Mercedes losing 88 points in relation to last year. And it, in a way, is a big thing, losing 88 points in comparison to last year. But when you've got two cars all of a sudden in the fight for the championship, two cars competing for race wins in Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen, I don't think it's the biggest thing in the world. But that said, there are teams gaining. And is it any surprise that Ferrari and Red Bull are the two top gainers, with Ferrari gaining 83 points and Red Bull gaining 80? And this is a very interesting statistic now. You can't have one statistic. You know the deal, man. I'm just confusing myself right here. But what I mean to say is, it's alarming to see how quickly Red Bull Racing have jumped up the ranks, how quickly they have worked things up, and how the regulations have favored them. But even Ferrari, we were lamenting them, we were criticizing them all the way through. In 2021, they've just flicked a switch. And this right here is just something brilliant that we're seeing from the team right now. And the best part is, it's coming from two drivers instead of just one, which brings us into discussing more about teammates. Because